welcome to the Spartan Up Podcast. I'm Kevin Paulus, Jackson Bast, and McKaylee Effen, and let's talk a little bit about everything going on with Missouri Baptist Athletics. Starting with football, a 48-14 loss to number 25 William Penn on Saturday. I know, Jackson, this was a game. We talked to Jason Buryanek a week or two ago. He was hopeful that they could put on a pretty good show and keep it close, maybe win this game. It just didn't work out that way on Saturday.
No, and Jacob Jones tallied in those two TDs, and he was probably the driving force of that offense. But a lot of our secondary, it's been the story all season. Our secondary has just been letting a lot of those long balls get right past them. And I'm not gonna lie, we knew William Penn was gonna be aggressive. We knew they were gonna come in, and man, there's no other way to say it. They bullied us. They bullied us on the field.
Yeah, Jacob Jones led the team in rushing, 77 yards, and as you mentioned, 2 touchdowns. Also threw for 186, but no passing touchdowns. Did throw 1 interception in that one as well. As football falls to 1-5 on the season, they travel to Missouri Valley on Saturday for their next Heart of America Conference matchup. Let's talk a little bit about men's and women's soccer as McKaylee, the men's team now 4-7-3, 3-5-2 in the conference. A couple of losses last week.
Yeah, they played Baker, and they were receiving votes, but we had played Mount Mercy before, won 5-0, and that was against the receiving votes team as well. So we thought that was going to be a good match, and it originally was until a lot of the last few minutes there, where Baker was able to take the lead for 2-1. There was a sick goal from Adele Smilovich, and I don't know if you saw it, Kevin, but
I did.
yeah.
I texted Tyler as soon as I was like,
Yeah.
that goal was incredible.
I know, yeah. The transition from the goal, it was insane. The entire, press box, the entire stadium, literally everybody was going crazy. Everybody was yelling. My hands were in the air. I was screaming. I was like, okay, maybe I'm overreacting, but that was crazy. But yeah, Adele was able to get that goal, and Anel Tahirovic and Matthew O'Reilly were able to help him on that transition. They also played Clark University and lost 0-3, but Sean Stone was in goal, and he was able to lead the match with 5 saves there.
So that's on the men's side. I'll throw it back to you for the women's side as well, as they're now 4-8-3 on the year, 4-4-2 in the Heart of America, a tie and a loss last week.
Yep, so they also played Baker and Clark. Casey Watson against Baker was able to get a very similar goal that Adele had, and it was still about 15 yards out. I don't think the transition was as clean as the men's side, but I thought that Casey was crossing the ball, but in reality, she was hitting the top right of the goal, and it went in, and Baker was also able to get a goal, which ended up being a tie of 1-1. And then against Clark, they unfortunately lost 0-1. Jordan was able to have 5 saves, and Natalie was able to get 2 shots on the goal.
Yeah, Jordan Marius, 10 saves in that tie against Baker, 5 against Clark, so 15 saves for her on the year. So she continues to, even though the record ain't great, 4-8-3, she's solid in goal.
Well, not only are they 4-3, but they're still sitting high and pretty at 7 in the stands. And I don't think our men's team, and McKaylee, correct me, are not really in that they're kind of sort of on the bubble, but not quite with that point system that the Heart has. But it looks like women's soccer could actually put themselves in, just in the Heart, making it in the first year in the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Make that postseason tournament that you're talking about. Both teams are going to play William Penn on Saturday. It does say it's senior day for men. Does not say senior day for women, but I'm sure it is because it's their final home game. So
Yep. So they are both senior days. Something that I want to mention too is that William Penn on the men's side is ranked number 8. So that's going to be a tough matchup there. And yeah, they just have it rough the next few games.
Yeah. So that's the soccer outlook when we talk men's tennis at the UTA Nationals. Sebastian Youngins and Luca da Silva Ebenreiter finished top 12 in the country as far as doubles. That ain't bad.
No, and they had to battle back from adversity. They took a loss early. I think they lost their first match in the national ITA Cup, but they were able to take another win on the backside, and they ended up finishing 12th. So it was obviously not exactly the result you want, but that is always a tough competition in the fall.
And women's volleyball, McKaylee, a couple of sweeps this week over Moval and Peru State. They just continue to really roll on.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been impressed with them from the beginning of the season. I mean, last time we talked, I believe they were 18-5, and they just got 2 more wins. Nice and easy ones against Moval. They won first set 25-15, next set 25-15, and then 25-21. Perini was able to get 10 kills there. Navarro with 30 assists, which, I mean, she was hurt for a little bit, and now she's good, and now
she's back in the starting lineup again, and it's made a big difference.
For sure, yeah. And then against Peru State, it was again 3-0. They were able to win the first set 25-8, which pretty impressive. Then 25-20, 25-17. Capello with 11 kills per usual. Fernini with 6 blocks per usual, and Navarro with 28 assists.
Another huge stat line from that game was the fact that MBU rallied off 14 aces, 6 of those coming from Jacobsen, and another 4 coming from the sophomore Tia Heikkinen.
Yeah, a couple of those in a row. I think there were 3 in a row at one point, so that was pretty impressive. So busy week for women's volleyball, and they will host former AMC foe Stevens tomorrow night here at the SRC before they go on the road to Benedictine and Baker on Friday and Saturday as they try to stay tied at the top of the Heart of America standings with Mid-America Nazarene and Grandview. So that's it as far as sports that happened this week. And Jackson's looking at me like I messed something up.
Did he correct me? Was the CBC invite for golf, and was that last week where Luke Gardner finished?
No, that's
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Pretty sure. Well, maybe.
No, I think
was it
this week.
Was it this way? Okay,
Yeah,
my bad.
Gardner.
Yes, the 13th. I want to make sure they finished third as a team with Gardner. Finished first overall, 4 over across 3 rounds. Finished even round 1, third round. Had that the 4 over round in the second round of the tournament, but finished 1 stroke above the second place finisher. And like I said, led that team to third. And then on the women's side, Elena Montalban finished 4th overall, leading that women's squad who finished 2nd in the tournament.
Awesome. So that is golf. Let's see what the schedule looks like upcoming as Jackson's favorite men's wrestling is going to get started this week. They will be at St. Ambrose. They will take on the Fighting Bees as well as York University on Saturday. Golf will be back at it at William Woods, the Fall Invitational, next Monday and Tuesday. So probably about the time that we are recording this, they'll be out there doing their thing. Cross country back to action at the Great Lakes Challenge this weekend in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So that's going to be a haul for them. And then bowling also has the weekend off, but they'll get back at it on November 1st when they make the long journey to St. Charles and be in the Lindenwood Classic out there. Didn't we miss anything? Anything else that we need to talk about this week?
Unless we said that the men's golf team, they're playing at William Woods.
I said that.
Okay.
Yeah, just said that. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry.
Alrighty. So that's it as far as the week that was and the week that's upcoming. We'll be back in a minute with Taylor Jacobsen, the women's head basketball coach here at Missouri Baptist. It comes up next on the Spartan Up Podcast. We're back on the Spartan Up Podcast, now joined by Taylor Jacobsen, the new women's head basketball coach here at Missouri Baptist. And Taylor, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And so you were hired in May, kind of a late hire as far as the basketball year is concerned. So easy question. How's St. Louis treating you over the last couple of months as you get settled in?
I am enjoying St. Louis so far. I feel like
growing up in the Midwest, it feels very much like home. So I'm happy to be back. And just then the weather's been better the last couple of days. So that's been nice. So I'm excited to get to embrace autumn again. Unlike Arizona dry desert. So I'm excited to
Right, came from Arizona. Last stop was Arizona Christian, but you're from Aurora, Illinois. So kind of getting back to Chicago weather a little bit. Anyway, yep, yep.
Yeah, so a little bit, what was kind of your background? You were at ACU as an assistant, and kind of tell us a little bit more about what's happened and how you got to here.
Yeah. So Um, initially though, I was at Concordia, Nebraska, and that's kind of where I realized I probably did want to pursue coaching even beyond my grad assistantship. And so, yeah, I was super lucky. I got to go on to coach with my old head coach who coached me at Concordia, Chicago in Arizona. And so I did that for 5 years and just kind of thinking about what the next steps were going to be, how basketball could play a part in my career in the future, and being a head coach sounded like the perfect next stop. And so this opportunity came up and super excited to get to pursue it at a place like Missouri Baptist. That's just a school that has, the faith background and things that I would be looking for. And so I'm super excited that I got to come here out of all the places. Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about your career at Concordia University and some of your accomplishments that you had there? Yeah, so um I played there 4 years and within those 4 years, I would say 2 of those years I got more playing time than the first 2 years, my junior and senior year. I was able to accomplish 1,000 points at least somewhere around there in those 2 years. And um we have like a huge tournament there called the CIT tournament. It's an invitational for all Concordia. It's like one of the longest standing tournaments in basketball history, college basketball history. And I was able to play in that. I got a couple of CIT player of the tournaments. First team All American, not All American. First team All Conference. I wish it was all.
That's a little different. Yeah,
That's a hard one.
we would have bought it had you say you just just yeah.
Not All American, but no, it was just super lucky. I had literally like the best team ever. Some of my best friends, some of the best players I ever played at that school I got to play with. And so they really did make me look good. All those awards and things were very much because of them. Yeah. So I love that in a lot of ways. Yeah. Whenever you were playing there, did you know that you wanted to coach? Because I know whenever I was in high school, my first thought was, oh my gosh, I love this sport so much. I want to coach. And then I got into college, played some more. And by my senior year, I was like, okay, I love coaching, but I don't think I love it that much to where I want to be trying to do this every single day. Was it like a big part in your coaching? I think that I honestly, the first couple years, absolutely not. I was just like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do after this, but yeah, not going to be anything with basketball. And I think that the last 2 years, obviously having a little more success, but I think just like seeing how our team was able to kind of come through a lot of adversity and whatnot made me appreciate the other side of the game and how my coach really was able to push us through. But I honestly, my coaching just comes from initially wanting to get a free degree. And so I got my grad assistantship, and it was really there that I saw like, wow, like being a coach is completely different than being a player. And I really liked it. Like I didn't think I would like it that much. And I love that aspect of it and really just giving like pouring to your players, which is what I've always loved to do. So it's kind of like a outlet for me to like, I knew that that is what I wanted to do, and I didn't know how I could do that. And basketball became a really good, like coaching became a really good way to do that.
Last couple of years at Arizona Christian, you guys did qualify a tournament. And if we're being honest, your first year head coach coming to Missouri Baptist, we're not like that yet. So what has that transition really been for you coming from that type of success to really trying to start to build something here at Missouri Baptist?
Yeah. I think that every step of the way, everything I've learned along the way has really led me to this point. And like coming here, I'm super excited because I feel like I have like a million things I got to see even at Concordia, Nebraska, where we won a national championship, to Arizona Christian, where we like kind of created a program, a successful one.
I've learned so many different tricks and what to do, what not to do. And so I'm just excited to really bring that here. And I think like, even though this team, it's a fresh start for all of us really, but I think this team is really eager. And I think that those things that I can bring, this is like the perfect setting to start something fresh and start a culture and start traditions that will last a while.
So you mentioned it in a couple of your answers prior, but like having a faith-based institution is like a big part of things that you were seeking, and kind of talk to that a little bit about your own personal faith and how you integrate that into your coaching.
Yeah. Well, I actually grew up Baptist, so that was like full circle for me. To get to come back to a Baptist university. But yeah, I think that in my years of coaching, I've basically only coached at Christian institutions, and I went to a Christian institution. So I think like that has become a big part of why I get to do this. Like I get to base everything off of my faith and I don't ever have to hold that back. Whether, all of my players are in that same bubble or not, like I think that it's just something that I get to do and just, be an example by how I coach and by how I do everything every single day with those girls. And like potentially that, might lead somebody to Christ. You never know. But yeah, I think that that has been such a blessing.
What are some of the things, because, we're on emails and things like that. What are some of the things specifically that you're doing to really bring that culture, the Christian culture, not just to your team, but really to the university? Because I think you had some of a leadership position in that at Arizona Christian, even, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm involved with FCA here, so that's been fun. I love the FCA. It's probably one of my favorite things I get to do. I also like within our team, we're doing a lot of pregame devotionals. So just trying to get people from around the university and honestly, just like parents or anybody that's interested to come in and talk to our girls before games. And then I also have, well, our girls lead a devotional every Tuesday. So they get together on Tuesdays after lifting and just get to kind of like, witness to each other and talk about the Lord. And so that's been really cool. We pray before every practice, things like that. But yeah, that's always been kind of my role at Arizona Christian. So that's been fun to incorporate some of these things here at Missouri Baptist.
Yeah, so looking into this new season, who are some key returners that you think are going to make an impact this year?
Yeah, we have two returning starters. So Mariana Cubero and Riley Jansen. I think both of those returners are going to be impactful this year. We also have a couple players from last year that I think have really worked in the off season. Jenna Plymouth, she's really showed herself this year. She's going to be a defensive threat for us, especially in the style I like to play, which is just a fast pace. We like to press a lot, and she's been really key so far in our practices in that press. And then, yeah, we just have a couple other girls who have kind of like found their role on our team this year and been able to light it up in practice and whatnot. So we're just excited to see how that translates onto games.
Talked about you coming here in May, and that really is kind of late in the hiring cycle. You're kind of at a disadvantage, bringing in not just the number of players, but really the type of players that you want. It seems you're making up for lost ground, though, because every single day I think I'm seeing that you guys are signing someone new, 3 in the last week or maybe 4 or something like that. So talk a little bit about how that process is starting to really take hold as well, just, getting the type of athletes here that you want.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people really do want to come here. So that's been the easy part. I think when you come on campus and things like that, it's beautiful. The girls, like, they love the perk. They love all the little aspects of the school. So it's not necessarily the school. Sometimes I think it's just like giving them the full experience, the culture aspect, the family aspect, things like that. And, recruiting's been easy. I bring a girl here and my whole team walks up to them and introduces themselves. And like, as an athlete that's been recruited in the past, like coming into a school, it's very intimidating. But when you have a group of girls coming up and talking to you and like, hey, this is us and this is what we like to do, my girls make my job really easy because usually those players leave and they dead tonight. I really want to come here. Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. It's a great location. All the other things match up very easily. So when we can give them, that aspect on the basketball end too, I think that it's an easy pick. So that's been easy for me. But yeah, we're just looking to honestly fill some of these spots that, every team has a weakness. And those are some of our weaknesses that I'm looking to fill. And so far, I've been really lucky. It's been been quite easy.
Yeah, and in the limited interactions that I've got to have with you guys, with media days, with video shoots, the thing I notice is like you guys are extremely tight knit. And another thing I also notice is like there's not this very huge gap between you and your players, and in a sense of like I know there's been a lot of coaches who are very dictator, my way or the highway, no kind of friendly kind of environment, but like it seems like you guys are always cutting up and very much enjoying it and kind of talk about how it's only 3 months on campus with everybody that you've gotten to cultivate that.
Yeah. And again, like more credit to them because I really have walked into a lot of that. I think my personality flows super well with this environment and them. I think that, over the years they bonded with each other. And so this year they already kind of had that relationship. And so that is my favorite thing. And that's for me, like that was the one thing I was like, okay, when I come here, we're gonna work on team bonding, we're gonna work on this. And it's like we don't even have to like force that on them. They genuinely love to be around each other. And also like my personality, like I try not to have an ego about anything. Like I know my favorite coaches were always the ones that I could go into their office and just talk to them and hang out and like I knew that they always had my back, but when it came time to lock in, like we were locked in. I feel like that's how, we are here. Like we do daily fun together before every practice, which is like 5 to 10 minutes of us just doing something fun, trivia, um, full court, like some type of random game. We had them dancing the other day, just like things that like make you remember why we're doing this. Like this is for fun. Like it's not life or death. So I think that's been super easy, super fun, and really it's just been kind of like the perfect fit.
If I can follow up on that, this is going to sound like a weird question, but the voice tone that you're using right now in this interview, I think is your voice tone all the time. I've never seen you yell at your team ever.
Not yet.
Paul Ellis, he came and watched one of your practices, and he comes to my office. He's like, she never raises her voice at all. Have you ever had to get after this team at this point, or do they just kind of get it? They get you.
Yeah, no, we talk about that all the time. I mean, I see pre-warn people. Please don't expect me to be screaming in your face. That'll like either I'm at a different level or I'm like totally having to go out of myself to motivate this team. And I think really ever I had any reason to have to be that way. Not to say I was, never would, but I also have a family of I have 6 siblings total. So there's 5 girls and 1 boy. And so for me, I don't know if I've just found a way to be calm in the storm always, but that's kind of my personality. And I think sometimes like I struggle with like, do people look at that as a weakness? For me, I try to just look at it as like, that's my strength, is that I can use my words wisely and I can use them in ways that are going to help us and not necessarily ways that are going to like tear these girls apart. And I think coaching women's sports, you have to be that way. I don't think like, I think that sometimes you have to watch how and what you say in order to motivate your team. So we're just trying to build confidence right now. And I think that the way that this is going right now is really good. And I don't think I've necessarily had to scream and yell quite yet, but you never know.
It could happen.
Coming weeks.
Yeah.
You had a whole basketball team in your family, I guess. 5 of you. I guess six total. So that's crazy.
Yeah, literally.
Well, we wrap up these interviews the same way with every coach. And so I'll just ask you, if you were not a basketball coach, what would you be doing with your life?
With your life. Life or death question.
Yeah, that's like a scary question. Basketball's always been my life. But honestly, I would probably be a van life girl and just be traveling as much as I could because I think about that all the time. Like, I really just want to go get a van and just go like hike and not be in the cold. I'm terrified of this cold weather coming up. Of just being able to like honestly be on the move and not have any ties anywhere. That's probably what I'd be doing right now.
Awesome.
That's a great
That's a great answer.
I totally would want to do that too. If money didn't matter, yeah, I would totally be doing that. Because how do you make money in a van?
No, I used to work online.
Maybe a lemonade stand everywhere you go.
Like drop sharing or drop selling or whatever, like where you never even have to see the merchandise, like you go through like a third party realtor.
Just do like Wi-Fi hotspot.
I haven't
you're
heard of
rolling.
Is that just like a boutique online?
Well, no, but like you go to like Amazon. I'm getting into it. We're going to get into it.
Okay.
Can we be done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Taylor, thanks a lot for joining us. Good luck this season. It's Taylor Jacobsen, the women's head basketball coach. We'll be back to wrap things up on the Spartan Up Podcast. Final segment of the Spartan Up Podcast. We appreciate you being with us. As in this final section, as you all know, we talk about what we are most excited about this week, and I'm going to randomly pick Jackson to go first on this one. What's most exciting to you?
Of course, I am always a huge fan of wrestling, grappling,
Of the wrestling.
They finally get to open up their season when they travel up to St. Ambrose to take on the Fighting Bees in a tri-match along with
York
of Nebraska. So good little early matchup. Ambrose is always a very competitive team. Ambrose, it's gonna be a good one. There's not easy match in college wrestling. I know I lost like 11 of them in my very short tenure as a college wrestler, but yeah, I'm excited for that. But I'm also excited. We're gonna have to go out to Benny in Atchison, Kansas for women's volleyball this week.
You pick one, dude. Don't take everyone else's. Don't be taking everyone else's.
Is that what yours is, Kevin?
Maybe.
Well, now I'm scared. Well, but I feel like mine's always men's and women's soccer, but it is going to be again this week because of senior day. I'm excited to be on the other side of senior day where I'm not emotional. I mean, maybe I'll be emotional, but probably not. But yeah, I'm just excited to not cry on a senior day.
Awesome. That's a good plan. And what I'm most excited about is actually football again as they go to Moval. They're 1-5 on the year, finally in a part of the schedule that I don't think they're going to have any of their final opponents of the year will have a number next to their name. So going to Moval, taking on the Vikings on Saturday. And then, follow that up against, your Bakers, your CMUs, and then Woods, and that'll be it for the regular season for Missouri Baptist. So now, since we didn't take it, go ahead and tell us how excited secondarily you are about women's volleyball.
Secondarily excited exponentially with Benedictine. That's going to be a good one. I know that Benny made it pretty deep in the Hart tournament last year. They're always good at this late point in the season. So, and then, McKaylee, you're very aware of what the air is like over in Atchison. It just makes you not perform nearly as well as you want to. But
well, there was one time we performed well in Atchison.
One time.
Yeah, I mean we were ranked number 8 and we beat the number 1, so that was the best time to do it.
That was the best. I mean, isn't it true that Maxwell is the only coach in NAIA history to go to Benedictine and beat Benedictine at home?
Yes. I can't.
Sure. We'll have to look that up. I don't know.
There was a ref in the press box back in April that was there for the women's game, and he told me that. So I did not fact check him. He's a ref, but
I mean, yeah. Why is he finding these facts?
Well, because I don't think NBU women's lacrosse has competed that long, like when it would be records and stuff against Benny. Boom. Oh no, it's against that specific coach.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that it's not that. It's been like 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah. Not even. She's very young. She's like your age. Very young. She's like your age, Kevin.
That's a good one. Yeah, we got jokes. Okay. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. This has been the Spartan Up Podcast for Jackson Bass. For McKaylee Effen, I'm Kevin Paulus. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, get them all to listen to us here on the Spartan Up Podcast. I'll be back next week.